Reppin' Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. PhillyGoat.com is your one-stop shop for Philly pride. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Look fresh, stay Philly, Philly Goat. Go Birds. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for August 12th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast. It is Tuesday. That means it's time for a little motivation / positivity brought to you by the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com to see what they have to offer, how you can get involved, and join the squad today. This Day in Philly Sports History is a proud member of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. And if you haven't done so already, check out the members pod from last week. I was on it. We had some fun. That is available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. But this quote today, as usually is the case, is very appropriate for what's happening in my life right now. It's the end of the summer. The school year's around the corner. There's the end of the summer stuff that I haven't gotten done yet, plus just the typical prep work for the school year. And this quote comes from Abraham Lincoln. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. So essentially, Mr. Lincoln is just talking about procrastination and putting things off, waiting for a better time doesn't make those things go away. Instead, it kind of just piles up and really can harm your mental state and your stress levels and everything like that. And you got to try to tackle things first. There's a quote I like to use that ties in with this as well. Eat the frog. Nobody wants to eat a frog. But you get the hardest, most unpleasant thing out of the way. That way you're not just putting it off and sitting on it. And this is not just chores or tasks or whatever people typically procrastinate on. It's your health. Take control. Don't keep putting off eating better or starting an exercise program. Having conversations, forgiveness, saying you're sorry. Don't put it off because you never know when you're not going to be able to do that. And with all of that, we're going into the last quarter of the year. September 1st, we're 4 months away from New Year's. And everybody typically will say, I'm making New Year's resolutions this year. Why wait until New Year's to start making a change? Start now. Build those healthy habits this last quarter of the year. It feels good now to delay those things, but you're just delaying the inevitable. If you're eating unhealthy, eating healthier is not going to be fun. If you haven't exercised, starting an exercise program is not going to be fun. So why keep putting it off? Start today, make the change, start those healthy habits, both physically and mentally. And I think even with doing unpleasant tasks or chores that you don't want to do, sometimes it's a mental thing. You just don't want to do it. But start creating those healthy habits today. Don't wait to New Year's. It's just not worth it. Just because the calendar says it's 1/1 doesn't mean you have to wait. Why not start today on a Tuesday? Putting things off could make some of those things possibly worth, specifically if you're talking about health. And with those conversations, you may not have a chance to have them. So as our boy Abraham Lincoln says, you can't escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. So don't put things off. Don't procrastinate. Make those changes. Make the decisions that are going to impact your future self now. And don't delay. So thank you as always for our Tuesday positivity. Hopefully that's something you can carry with you through your weeks. I know for me, with all the different things, with a new school year around the corner, there's a lot. And sometimes it's procrastination. Sometimes it's trying to figure out and prioritize which is the most important thing to get done first. So don't delay. Get it done. Start healthy. And both physically and mentally, healthy habits today. Don't wait. Do it today and you'll be happy. And that is brought to you by the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com for details on how you can join and get involved. All right, good win for the Phils yesterday. Pretty much seemed lifeless for the first 8 innings of the game. They were down 1-0, and then Edmundo Sosa got it started. Weston Wilson hit a double, and then Kyle Schwaber broke it open with his 42nd home run of the year. Phillies beat the Reds 4-1. Mets were off, so that lead in the NL East is now at an even 6 games. But like I said, I mean, good fight, I guess you could say, from them. They look very listless for the first 8 innings, but something about this team, like after the trade deadline, a flip has been switched. Taijuan Walker pitched a hell of a game and has been pretty solid and pretty consistent. So I would like to go on record, keeping with our New Year's resolution theme from way back in January. I want to apologize for Taijuan and forgive him, or ask him to forgive me for being tough on him. Between last year and even into this year, always hard. It's like, oh, it's the Taijuan Walker game, scheduled loss, this, that, and the other. I'm willing to admit I was wrong. And Taijuan has been obviously not the most consistent, but one of the more consistent pitchers in the Phillies rotation, in the bullpen. He's done whatever he's been asked to do, and he's just been a consummate team player. So I would like to say I apologize. I was wrong, and we went through and forgave all of the Philly athletes who did us wrong. I'd like to formally ask for forgiveness from Taijuan Walker because I was wrong. He's been just completely solid and really has helped solidify that 5th spot. And it's turned into, I mean, I get Nola's coming back, but Taijuan Walker might be one of the best 5-spot starters in the league. I mean, you have him pitching the way he has been, specifically over the last month or so, since he's been back in the rotation as your 5th starter. Not bad. So, Taijuan, please forgive me. I apologize for being wrong about you for this year. They're back at it this evening. Ranger Suarez takes them out as the Phils look to take this series and win their 5th in a row. Dave Dombrowski spoke yesterday about Kyle Schwaber. Certainly made it seem like he wants him to be here. But I guess if you kind of read between the lines, I don't know. I got the sense from the way he spoke that they don't think he's going to be able to be back. I don't think they think they're going to be able to afford him. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I also feel there's no way that John Middleton is going to let him go. I feel you have one of the most, if not the most popular player on the team right now. I mean, my kids don't care that much about Bryce Harper when he comes up, and whenever Kyle Schwaber comes up, it's must see. So I think John Middleton might step in and say, just pay the man his money. But for now, let's just enjoy it. And to me, Schwaber, I know a lot of people don't like DHs being the MVP, but I think you can make a very, very compelling case that Kyle Schwaber is the MVP. So Phillies Reds this evening as they look to take this series out in Cincinnati. Some Eagles news, and I guess this could be classified as good news. Landon Dickerson does have a meniscus injury. He does need surgery. However, he's considered week to week, and it is possible that he can come back and play in the opener. Probably this is like a 4 to 6 week injury, so like the opening day or first game is sort of in that gray area. However, one of the more tougher players in the league, luckily it was a meniscus and not necessarily an ACL, which he has already torn, I believe, in both knees. It's far better than an Achilles injury. So I guess the news came out as positive as possible. They didn't practice yesterday, so I was actually surprised we even got any news from about his knee. I know it was originally reported that he was asking for a second opinion. Maybe he got it and they said, yeah, you need surgery. But week to week is certainly better than 8 weeks or even the entire season. So good news on the Landon Dickerson front. Landon, we wish you a speedy recovery. But do you think they can? I mean, I think if it was going to be a more long-term injury, I might have been concerned, but I feel as though you put your trust in Howie to bring guys in. You put your trust in Jeff Stoutland to have the backup ready to step in, as the Eagles talk about all the time. Next man up mentality. I think they're going to be fine, especially if it's only for maybe a week or two that Landon is going to miss. But the best case scenario, I think, after it looked pretty bad when he went down. So speedy recoveries to you, Landon. All right, let's do some quick housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok, on Instagram at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. And if you are a new listener, as I like to do a couple times during the week, welcome. We are glad to have you. Be sure to tell your friends, subscribe, all that other good stuff as we try to outsmart the algorithm. And then yesterday's question of the day, in honor of Randy Wolf being the last Phillies pitcher to hit 2 home runs in a game, I asked you, will a Phillies pitcher ever hit a home run in a game again? I was surprised at this. I thought it was going to be more the other way, but 60% of you said, yeah, a Phillies pitcher. Somehow they'll be forced to pinch hit somebody and they'll come up and hit a home run. So thank you to everyone who participated in the question of the day. We will have another one here later in the show. And then yesterday's trivia question, I asked you what 3 head coaches led Temple to bowl wins. And that would be Wayne Harding in the 1979 Garden State Bowl, Steve Adazio, the 2011 New Mexico Bowl, and Jeff Collins, the 2017 Gasparilla Bowl. Thank you for everybody who gave guesses. No, Al Golden did not win one, and technically neither did Matt Rule. So there you go. But Matt Rule and Al Golden were the 2 big guesses that people put out there yesterday. And that was all in honor of our top 5 of the first 25 years of the century, where we looked at some of the top coaches in Philadelphia. And nobody really questioned that. It seemed as though Jay Wright was the correct answer. So not usually every other list so far has sparked a debate. So the fact that Jay Wright didn't spark a debate means maybe, just maybe, I got it right. But continuing our look at the top 5 for the first 25 years of the century, today we're going to stick with college and do the top 5 college moments in Philadelphia sports since 2000. Lots of opportunities here for honorable mentions. We got Penn back in 2000, the epic game as the 15 seed where they gave Illinois, the 2 seed, everything they could. Drexel's 2021 NCAA tournament run. You have Nova making it to the Final Four in 2009, winning the championship in 2018, and going back to the Final Four in 2022. Their football team won the Division II or 1AA, I guess it would be. I don't know, what is it now? FCS or FBS. But they won the the Division 1AA football championship in 2009. And then, of course, that magical Elite 8 run by Temple in 2001 when they were the 11th seed and upset Florida, Penn State before finally bowing out to Michigan State. But those are all honorable mentions. So here are the top 5 moments in college sports since 2000. Starting with number 5, and who could forget the Southwest Philly floater and Tyrone Garland. That LaSalle Explorers team made a magical run to the Sweet 16 in 2013. Garland became an instant star, talking about the Southwest Philly floater. So the Explorers run in 2013 is number 5. Sticking with college basketball, 2004, St. Joe's went 27-0 in the regular season. number one team in the country, number one overall seed in the tournament, and then went on a run to the Elite Eight before losing to Oklahoma State when John Lucas III hit a ridiculous three to break St. Joe's and all of Philadelphia's heart that year. So that's number 4. And remember, this is my list, so it might be a little biased here. This is why we're going to have a debate. But the number 3 moment in college sports in Philly since 2000, Temple Notre Dame on Halloween. College Game Day was here for ESPN. Just a fun time, and the game actually lived up to the hype. Temple was in it until the very end, and then I believe it was DeShone Kizer led Notre Dame on the game-winning drive. But a lot of fun, a great time to be a Temple Owl during that time. The number 2 top college sports moment since 2000, we're going to stick with those 2015 Owls, and very easily could have put this at the top for me because it meant more, but trying to balance out the bias and everything. But number 2, Temple upsetting Penn State, beating them for the first time in dominating fashion. Just remember that was sort of the white whale as a Temple football fan. We finally beat Penn State and did so in pretty convincing fashion. So that was our number 2 moment in college sports. Might lose my Temple card here for this one, but all things big picture, all things considered, the number 1 sports moment in Philly sports since 2000, and that was the buzzer beater in 2016. Nova wins the NCAA championship, finally getting Jay Wright his title, and it was just, that was just an incredible sequence, the last 30 seconds of that game, with the pass, the North Carolina taking the lead, and then just the way it ended at the buzzer, confetti coming down. So Villanova winning the 2016 NCAA championship at the buzzer for the national championship is the top moment in Philly college sports since 2000. All right, who did I miss? Who's too high? Who's too low? Is that your top moment? Let me know. Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. Get that, anything else Philly sports related off your chest. Come to the Discord channel. It's the first link in the description. But that's the question of the day. Is Villanova winning the championship in 2016 the top college moment since 2000? I think it is. I think the only thing that could come close would be one of those Temple moments, like just that whole story in 2015. I don't think the St. Joe's won because they didn't win the championship. And truthfully, same with Temple. They ended up not even winning a bowl game that year. There were talks of them getting one of the at-large bids. But lots of good moments. But is the Villanova Wildcats winning the 2016 championship the top college moment in Philly sports since 2000? And then we're going to continue sort of the top 5 in the first 25 theme here. And this is another question which I thought was good. I stole from the Phillies last night. So if you watched the Phillies game last night, you know the answer to this. I knew what the answer was just by seeing it. But since 2000, what 2 players have made an all-star team with both the Cincinnati Reds and the Philadelphia Phillies? Hit me up on there. Thank you, Dodge Stump the fans, for this one. But I thought it was good because I thought it was too easy. But I kind of tested it out, and a lot of people did not get this. So what 2 players have made an all-star team with both the Reds and the Phillies since 2000? That is today's trivia question. There's a channel on the Discord, a channel in our Discord chat. So go click that first link and let me know your thoughts on that. Whether you're coaching Little League, crushing your fantasy league, or just rolling up to a bachelor party like a Philly legend, Lotwin Custom Hype Chains bring the energy. Fully customizable, totally unforgettable, and guaranteed to turn you into the MVP of the moment. Great for teams, groomsmen, or anyone who wants to show off with some serious swagger. Go to Lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD, and get 10% off your own custom hype chain. Lotwin, let's get hyped together. All right, August 12th. Got a little bit of a few Phillies things here today. First, we're going to go back to 1991, and Terry Mulholland and Dennis Martinez had a pitcher's duel at the Vet. both going the distance, pitching a complete game. Dale Murphy and Lenny Dykstra knocked in the runs as the Phillies won this game 2-1. It was their 13th straight win, tying the 1977 Phillies for their longest post-1900 winning streak. They did have 3 16-game winning streaks back in the 1800s, but this one ended the next day as the Phillies would lose. But on this day, 1991, Terry Mulholland and El Presidente Dennis Martinez went toe-to-toe, and it was the Phillies coming out on top 2-1, winning their 13th straight, tying the modern-day record set by that 77 team as well. And then in 2009, on today's edition of Hey, Other Fans Are Jerks Too, Phillies beat the Cubs 12-5 at Wrigley Field. Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, and Raul Ibanez all homered. But the story was, during the 5th inning, Shane Victorino was going back to catch a fly ball, and one of the Chicago Cub fans dumped a beer on his head. To his credit, though, Shane still made the catch. And remember, this was kind of a big story, but wasn't nearly as big as if it was somebody at Citizens Bank Park who would have done this. So let this be a lesson to you, kids. Other fans are also scumbags. And then fast forward 2 years, in 2011, Phillies lose to the Nationals 4-2. Chase Utley went 1-for-4, but he was playing in his 1,004th game at second base for the Phillies, breaking Tony Taylor's team record for most games played at second base. John Kruk, by the way, it was also inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame on this day, but it was Chase Utley breaking Tony Taylor's record for most games played at second base. And then fast forward 2 more years from there, the Phillies beat the Braves 5-1. Good old Charlie Manuel got his 1,000th career win as a Major League Baseball manager. Unfortunately for Charlie, it would be his last, as the Phillies were in the midst of a losing streak, and they would lose a couple more, and he was fired 4 days later, very unceremoniously, as I might add. There was the picture in the Daily News of him walking out with a Wawa bag with his stuff from his office. But to Charlie's credit, 9 years in Philly, 780 wins against 636 losses, won a World Series, 2 pennants, 5 straight division titles, has the most wins as a manager in Phillies history, and for my money, the greatest manager in Phillies history. And if you listened yesterday, he was number 2 on our all-time coaches list since 2000. But Charlie Manuel got his 1,000th career managerial win on this day as the Phillies beat the Braves 5-1. Don't forget to check out Beach Caddy. Still not too late to take a quick trip down to the shore. Get your beach cart rental. If you're going to rent a place for the weekend, they'll move you in, move you out. Use that promo code Jimbo to take 15% off of your order. Squeeze the last little bit out of summer. Be sure to like, subscribe, review, leave a comment wherever you're listening to this. All of that stuff helps out as we grow this thing. But I truly, truly appreciate you being here. On this day in 2013, it was Charlie Manuel getting managerial win number 1,000. 2011, Chase Utley played game number 1,004 at second base for the Phillies, breaking Tony Taylor's record. 2009, Philly fans are not the only jerk fans in the country. A Chicago Cubs fan poured a beer on Shane Victorino's head, but he still made the catch. And then in 1991, the Phillies won their 13th straight game, tying a modern club record with the 1977 Phillies. Be sure to let me know about the Nova 2016 buzzer beater. I have a feeling there's going to be a few Temple fans out there that will say, no, that was not the top moment. But I think from a citywide 30,000-foot view perspective, it was the top moment. We'll have more top 5 lists tomorrow, where we look at the top 5. I think tomorrow is Flyers moments. I don't think we're doing players yet. I think it's top 5 Flyers moments. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to let me know the answer to the trivia question. What Philly and Red, or who has made an all-star team since 2000 for both the Phillies and the Reds? And then don't procrastinate. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. That is a quote from Abraham Lincoln, and it's just good practice. So don't put things off no matter what they are. Get started today and let's go. We'll keep you updated on the Eagles as they get back to practice today, as well as the Phillies who are looking to win that series in Cincinnati behind good old Ranger. Would love to see him put together a quality start today, too. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for August 12th, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Tuesday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.